So there is now a plan in place to block President-elect Donald Trump from taking office on January 20th, 2025. Obviously, that's concerning. But what lawmakers are currently saying, what some are telling others, that they do not want to push Donald Trump into office, especially right now. But look at this. It says Congress has the power to block Trump from taking office, but lawmakers must act now. Now, what does this mean? Well, I'm going to tell you in just a moment, explain what is going on, what Democrats are doing, but what is looking like it will be more of a reality than not. That we do not have a Speaker of the House that will actually certify the Electoral College and the votes that would push Donald Trump into the White House. So I'll explain all this in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. Takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So yes, it is true. Congress has the power to block President-elect Donald Trump from taking office. But how they do that, this is something that's very interesting. Look at this. It says Republicans fear speaker battle means they can't certify the election. That's exactly right. If they cannot certify the election, that means that Donald Trump would have to wait. Look at this right here. It said the first vote of the new House, when lawmakers are sworn in on January 3rd, is in electing a speaker. It says then on January 6th, the House will meet and certify the results of the 2024 elections. It says Republicans elected Speaker Mike Johnson as the House Speaker in October of 2023 after they were unable to agree on a replacement for 3 weeks after ousting the last Speaker, Kevin McCarthy. Keep this in mind that they are going to reconvene on January 3rd. That's the first day of the new Congress. That's when all the new representatives will be there, both for all the parties. Now, here's the problem. When Speaker Mike Johnson was elected as the last speaker, from the day Kevin McCarthy was ousted as the Speaker of the House to the time there was a replacement, it took 21 days, 21 hours, 9 minutes, and 2 seconds. That means for almost 22 days, the House of Representatives did not have a speaker, which means they cannot pass votes. The Speaker of the House is who brings the votes to the floor. This is why it's an issue, because on January 6th, they are supposed to come back together, and that is when they will actually meet and certify the results of the 2024 election. But if you do not have a Speaker of the House, that's where things get very, very murky. Keep in mind, January 6th to January 20th is 14 days. It took them 21 days last time to elect a Speaker of the House. Now, I want to play this clip for you. Look at this right here.
The first order of business for the House when Congress convenes January 3rd is electing a House Speaker. It's all about the math. The House clocks in with 434 members with one vacancy, thanks to former Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz. The breakdown is 219 Republicans to 215 Democrats. The Speaker of the House must win an outright majority of all members. Current Speaker Mike Johnson is on thin ice with the right flank of his party after last week's debacle over government spending.
Now, I want to jump in there really quick. So it's 215 to 219 members, okay? Here's the issue. You need 218. You need a majority, okay? You need a majority of all House members have to select one person. Will it be Speaker of the House, current Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, or will it be somebody else? Well, this is where it could turn into an issue. If we have multiple people throwing their hat into the ring, we may have several votes. And the problem is, again, if we don't have a speaker by January 20th, we can't certify the election. We can't certify the results, which means it would actually be pushed, the inauguration should actually be pushed back. Let me play the rest of this clip for you.
Before the last couple of weeks, I was, in his corner, but now we should consider what's the best path forward. We do need to consider whether, if we're going to advance Mr. Trump's agenda, whether the current leadership is what we need.
So right there, they're going to look into that, whether they want to advance under Trump's agenda or if the current leadership, maybe they need a change, right? That would be a huge, huge blow. But look at this. It says proposed plan to block Donald Trump from taking office sparks MAGA fury. People are upset because they're saying that this is something that they knew was coming. There were already discussions of this before, that Democrats were going to do everything that they could to block President Trump from getting into the White House. Look at this. It says, two legal scholars have suggested Democrats should block President-elect Donald Trump from taking office, even as party leaders reject any such efforts and MAGA Republicans decry the very idea. Keep in mind, this has been discussed for a while. That's a simple process. Just do not put in a new Speaker of the House. Vote for anybody else, but do not vote for whoever Republicans want. Well, that's going to put the entire nation in jeopardy and our troops over in the Middle East and around the world. Let's keep reading this. This is why it matters. It says, in a historic political comeback, Donald Trump secured the presidency in the 2024 U.S. election, defeating Vice President Kamala Harris. This victory comes nearly 4 years after the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot, where a mob of his supporters stormed Congress in an attempt to overturn the 2020 election results. The insurrection led to widespread condemnation and legal challenges for Trump, including an impeachment for incitement of insurrection, though he was acquitted by the Senate. Despite these controversies, Trump's 2024 campaign focused on economic issues, persuading voters of his capabilities to enhance their financial well-being, which played a significant role in his electoral success. Okay, now, why would Democrats be doing everything they can to block Donald Trump from taking office when it seems like most Americans want Donald Trump in there? Well, it's because of statements that he's made and because of plans that he's actually put in place. Look at this. It says Trump takes aim at Canada, Greenland, and the Panama Canal on Christmas Day posts. He's talked about adding Canada as the 51st state here in the United States. He's talked about going over and taking over Greenland, okay, because it's a necessity. He's talked about going and controlling the Panama Canal, and we should have never done this, decades ago, where we sold the Panama Canal for $1 back to Panama, because now he's saying that Panama doesn't even control it. China does. China's dictating the moves that the Panama Canal makes. Yeah, that's troubling. Another reason why Democrats do not want Donald Trump in office, because of this. It says Trump tells the EU to buy more American-made oil and gas or face tariffs all the way. It says Trump has threatened tariffs on Canada and Mexico to curb illegal immigration at the borders. Donald Trump has said a lot of things. He's said a lot of things to make a lot of people make moves to protect the United States. We can't have Canada allowing illegal immigrants to just come into the U.S. We can't allow Mexico to continue to let people just walk across the border. Donald Trump says we are going to add a tariff to all goods from Canada and Mexico if they do not help us secure our U.S. border. So guess what? They're doing it. It's working. Then there's this one. It says Trump's border czar says family detention centers could play a role in deportation effort. It says Tom Homan, whom President-elect Donald Trump has chosen to oversee immigration and border security, said using detention centers for migrant families is still being discussed. But the expectation is we are going to see 1 million plus people get deported from the United States back to their home countries in the very near future. We already know that many other countries are already planning on this and preparing for tens of thousands, if not 100,000 plus people to enter into their country very soon. So, what we know right now is that Democrats are really upset with Donald Trump, do not want him to gain access to the White House, don't want him calling the shots, and as a result, Democrats could be willing to block his upcoming, pretty much the whole process under Speaker of the House. And if they block a new Speaker of the House from being selected, then pretty much certifying the election is pretty much out of the question. So we'll see what happens moving forward. All I can tell you right now is it'll be an interesting last 3-4 weeks of this lame duck presidency, but we'll see what happens together. The one thing I can promise you is I will be here every step of the way, and I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. But as of today, that is what we know. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.